Welcome back to News Junkies. In this installment, we're going to be heading back over to New York. Got about 3 different stories going on in the city. It is getting mad crazy over there. So with that being said, please take this time to like, share, and subscribe. And let's go.
We are learning more about the moments that led up to an NYPD officer shooting and killing a man in Queens. Police say that the man pointed what they now believe was an imitation gun at 2 officers, and that's when the officers opened fire. News 4's Gus Rosendale is live in Edgemere with the latest on the investigation. Gus?
All right, we're talking about an imitation gun, but police took this as a very real threat, and that is why they ended up using what turned out to be lethal force. Now, this is what the suspect was holding, we're told, in his hands when police opened fire, the NYPD describing it as an imitation-style type of gun. Police responded to shots being fired during a family fight at this Edgemere, Queens apartment building around 11 a.m. on Beach 51st Street. The report of shots turned out to be false. But when officers talked with a man behind a door in an apartment, investigators say he pointed that imitation weapon at them when they went inside. They told him to drop it. He did not. They opened fire.
They knocked on the door. They had a conversation through the door for a few minutes, at which point the door opens up. Our members go to step into the door, and then the male points a firearm at them. Our officers gave commands to drop the weapon, and then our officer discharged his firearm.
Police say the suspect did not have a history of problems with law enforcement. He died at the hospital after officers on the scene tried to give him first aid. The 2 officers involved, we're told, were not hurt. Live in the Edgemere section of Queens, I'm Gus Rosendale.
The only thing worse than being caught with a firearm is being caught with a fake firearm. That right there will get you killed in the streets and by the police. I want to send my condolences to the family going through this hardship, but this news must be reported. Now we're gonna jump into the next story. Check out what happened at this hotel. Let's go.
A 38-year-old woman found dead in a hotel room here in Manhattan. A bloody iron found next to her. News 4's Melissa Colorado live at the Soho 54 on Watt Street, where police have been collecting their evidence. Melissa, what are they saying at this point?
Well, Natalie, the details that police are sharing with us are incredibly disturbing. But let me set the scene for you for a second. It is Fashion Week. A lot of the guests staying at this hotel, they're here for Fashion Week. They're here for the fashion shows, never expecting that they would be this close to a crime scene. Now, police say a 38-year-old woman was found dead in a hotel room here at the Soho 54 hotel. All preliminary evidence indicating that this is likely a homicide. A law enforcement source telling us that a bloody iron was found near the woman's head. Police telling us that the woman was found lying on the floor underneath a blanket. This woman's body was discovered around 10:30 this morning in a room on the 11th floor. We spoke to friends from LA who happened to be staying right next to the room where this woman's body was found. They said they heard hotel staff pounding on the door this morning, but they had no reason to suspect that something violent was happening in the room next door to them because they were gone last night. Here's what they described.
The door was open and they were like, she has no pulse. And it was like a good hour before they even, like, the fire department came, of them banging on the door next to us.
It's really like saddening to see that here and see that it was something real, and the fact that we were right next to that thing.
And we know that the medical examiner was here investigating this scene, and they will be in charge of discovering how exactly this woman died. But at the moment, this investigation is still ongoing, and police have not released the name of this 38-year-old woman. That's the latest here in Soho. I'm Melissa Colorado, News 4 New York.
True savagery. Beaten with an iron. But I believe that they know much more than what they're telling us. There's too many cameras. It was a hotel in Soho. We got one more story to jump into before we get on out of here. Let's get this fixed.
But first, a disturbing find: bags of human remains discovered inside an apartment refrigerator. The shocking crime now unraveling in Brooklyn. Good to have you with us. I'm Adam Cooperstein. Police say it was a Crime Stoppers tip that led investigators to that apartment inside a building on Nostrand Avenue on Monday. News 4's Chris Jose live in Flatbush now in Brooklyn with what a woman who lives there, Chris, told police after finding that in the fridge.
Right, Adam, and to be clear here, there does not appear to be any kind of threat or danger to the public. According to law enforcement sources, this was a dispute over drugs between two people. You can see the crime scene unit remains on the scene. The medical examiner right now in the process of piecing the body back together for further examination. NYPD made the gruesome discovery on Monday at an apartment right here on Nostrand Avenue in Flatbush. Body parts, including someone's head, stuffed in a refrigerator. An anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers leading police to the apartment. Law enforcement sources telling News 4 a woman who lives there let officers in, and they immediately noticed a taped up refrigerator. Sources say cops arrested that woman when she became combative. Police say when officers opened the fridge, they found black plastic bags containing body parts. The woman now in police custody and undergoing psychiatric evaluation, telling investigators the body belonged to a local drug dealer who had a dispute with her husband last September. Law enforcement sources adding the woman claims her husband killed the man and stored the body. She also told detectives she did not witness the killing, and her husband is currently in prison in Virginia. According to law enforcement sources, investigators have identified the victim as Kausheen Gelzer, his distinctive tattoos helping with the ID process. He was previously arrested for dice throwing and also assaulting a police officer. Unclear right now when the actual murder took place.
Yo, how long you think those body parts has been inside of that fridge with tape around it? Her man has been in prison in Virginia. Who knows how long? Crazy. But if you're addicted like me to news updates, current events, and popular trending topics, come get that fix. And please like, share, and subscribe, and also comment as well. Let's get a quick dialogue going about the situation. And until the next time, peace and blessings.